Blessings crew, and welcome to this week's offering. And you are back in the wonderful Heart and Soul. And we're just gonna cross our fingers about the sound this time around and see how we go. But find your way to the front of your mat and just we're kind of in a noticing moment. How does our body feel? What's our day been like so far? And what's kind of going on in our immediate environment? So while we would kind of sometimes love to be ashram bound and candles and all of those things, it's not always possible. And lately I've been talking a bit about that, and it's because people sometimes put off their practice because it's not right? So just welcome wherever you are, and kind of find that, oh yay, I'm on my yoga mat moment. We're going to notice our breath. We're going to take a couple of just slow, kind of deep exhales that let you come into the space, but also the space in here. So noticing that. You notice me rocking around a little bit. Kind of sometimes we need to move a little bit to feel like, oh, where's the aches, where's the pains? What's my body feeling like? Maybe move your feet, your fingers, just hips, noticing. And then we're going to inhale, we're going to bring our arms up into that beautiful space, and we're going to feel the air as we exhale. Just kind of stroking it with our fingers. And we're going to inhale, come up. I'm going to exhale. Feel that energy coming down. And one more like that. We're going to inhale up. And then we're exhaling, we're bringing that energy down, and as we do, we're going to bring it into the heart space. And we're going to sink into a half chair, so our tailbone goes back behind us. And we want to feel the length along the spine, so something that happens is that we can end up here rather than here. So think about sinking through the hips, kind of sticking our butt out behind us, but not to the point where we feel like we're overarching the spine, to the point where everything feels nice and kind of lined up. So play a little bit with that angle. Play with the breath. And then we're going to turn towards our left, so our upper body towards the left. Just looking over that shoulder. Careful of our knees, make sure they're not trying to go with us. And come around the other way. Looking over that right shoulder and breathing. Bringing it back to center and reaching into that space, so big reach up. And then lift slowly, link our fingers. And take it over to the left, up through the ribs. And a slow arch, so we're lifting up and over. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale, break to center, back down into that chair pose. And this time when we go left, we can stay there, or we can bring our right elbow onto our thigh or to the side of our thigh, and we're going to look over that shoulder. Nice deep breath. And then we're coming around, we're going the other way. to centre. And as we come up, we release, we lift. We're going to take it up towards the roof, so we're going to lift. And we're lifting rib by rib, all the way up, making ourselves taller. Then our hands come down. We come into that chair pose. So tailbone going back. And then we sink down into a forward fold. So let's bring the belly to the thighs and then start to lift the hips, letting the head drop. Then bending into the knees, roll yourself back up, just slow, and come back up to standing. And just take a moment, notice, sometimes as we start to warm up, we start to notice differences in the body. But also, if you've got a home practice or you're trying to find that inspiration for home practice, when we're warming up, we're trying to kind of move as much of the body as we can in that first kind of 5 minutes, just to loosen up, but also bring it to our awareness. So if we've been kind of caught up in here, suddenly I've got thighs and I've got a spine and I've got arms and I've got neck and I can look and I can open my eyes. You know, there's things that we might be quite unconscious about, we're becoming conscious of with yoga. So just kind of pop that into even the 5-minute practice. We're going to lift up onto the ball of our feet, give it a little massage into the floor. Then come down, lift the toes up, give them a scrunch. I'm going to inhale and come up slow. And this time we're going to exhale, we're going to bring our arms around behind us, link the fingers, roll the shoulders down, tuck the chin down towards the base of the throat. Take a nice deep breath under the collarbones, or 2 or 3. And then inhale, so open up. Come down through that center line, chair pose, into that forward fold. Nice deep breath. Then right foot takes a nice deep step back. Right knee comes down to the floor. Flatten that back foot and inhale, come up slow, bring the upper body up. Let's exhale, come forward, let those arms go back behind us. And then as we inhale, they come forward slowly, they catch us when they are in line with our ears and lift us up. And then slowly back down. And try and make it so that you don't stop moving. So the aim isn't to get to the top. The aim is to keep the movement fluid. So we're exhaling in this direction. We're inhaling when we come up. Next time we come up, we're coming into a hold. So lift into that hold, reach. Take the gaze up to the thumbs, nice deep breath. And then down we go. Wriggling that left foot out. Take a moment there. We're going to rock into the hips. Notice the difference left to right. And we're going to take our knees out to the edge of the mat. We're going to bring our big toes together. Pull back slow, wander the arms forward at the same time. Heart towards the floor. Then walking it forward. As your belly comes down, your feet spread out, and we lift up slow. So you're on the inside of your knees a little bit. Nice deep breath there, just gently. We don't have to go too far. To come back, we take our chin in, we lift our hips. We bring those feet back in. We roll back into that original shape. We can stay there. We can come up, bring our knees back under our hips, step back into a plank, and up into a down dog. Couple of rolls here, so we're going to bend our knees if you're in down dog, and then lift the hips, and let those heels roll down, and bend the knees. Lift the hips, let those heels roll down. And another one. Nice deep breath. It's our right foot stepping up crow, so find your way to all fours, or from down dog if you're confident, step that right foot up. Left knee comes down this time. Left foot flattens. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Sweep it down. And back behind you with those arms. Keep it slow, keep it steady. Noticing, so finding just that flow. And next time we come up, we're coming into that hold. Nice deep breath, reach into that space. We can take our gaze up to our thumbs if we feel okay. We can move the hips forward if we feel like that's not too far. Slowly coming down. We're going to tuck those back toes under, and we're going to come wide on our mat. Wide leg forward fold. And just kind of take a moment, find your way into that forward fold. Give your body that moment to adjust. Easing our way down.
wander our way around to that front foot, that right foot, turning, high lunge, step it forward. And just soften around those hips for a moment. And then forearms onto thighs. Tailbone goes back, little half chair pose. Bring the hands to the heart. And come up slow, easing our way up. Let the stars realign themselves, team. And so just kind of noticing thighs, hips, top of the thighs. In those low lunges, it's often these hip flexors and the top of our kind of bigger muscles in our legs that start to feel interesting. And so we kind of want to strengthen and stretch, right? So chair pose, strengthen, or warrior pose, or our high lunges, all about strengthening. Then we kind of want to know, well, how do I stretch them? Low lunge, classic one, but also some of our balances, right? So Pose the Dancer is a little bit of a classic for that, but sometimes we struggle, right, to kind of keep our balance. So don't be afraid to find a wall for the sequence, okay? So, or a chair, or maybe not a nice wobbly thing, but something where you can kind of put your hand and feel steady. We want to keep working on our balance, but we don't want to avoid balance work, right? But we also want to be just conscious of, okay, I need to be steady, I don't want to injure. Take the weight over to the right side of the body, and as you do, bring this left foot up. Bring that awareness to the right side of the body, to the strength it takes to support and hold that left side in a balance. So just breathe, notice. If you tension up your shoulders, drop them down. You're going to bring this left knee up. And we're just going to notice that change, right? And also, it's quite strong to do that. So nice deep breath there. Then we're going to take that left leg and we're just going to push it backwards, and we're going to come around as if we were going into a warrior pose. Okay, so you're finding a point on the floor that's not moving, and we're going to come back up. We're going to bring that knee back and through. So we're just creating movement. Take that foot back. And bring it up. Okay. Notice we're just leaving our arms quite neutral at the moment. Notice how strong that right leg has to be for this. Last one with the movement on this side. And bring it up and down. Notice that right side, it might be quite warm. We're transferring that energy left. Okay, so as we do that, we're just feeling that left side get used to holding right. We're breathing, so we're noticing our breath, we're noticing, checking, we're not tensioning up our shoulders. And then that knee comes up. And then it goes back slowly behind us. And just coming up. And back. We're just noticing, we're really kind of just moving with the body. Moving our awareness. Last one. finish it by bringing that foot up and back down. And notice the heat, okay? So right round the hips and the legs, we've got this lovely warmth now. We want to use that. So some of you will know that that's part of the warrior sequence, that balance. And there is a bound warrior that starts out in dancer, okay? So Natarajasana. And so we're going to kind of build those two and see them as quite separate but interconnected. So we're going to take the weight to the right and we're going to see if we can bring this knee up, this left knee up, and our left hand is just going to slide down the shin to the ankle as we come around. Now, don't worry if you can't do that, okay? So you might need a strap, okay, for that foot. And again, wall if we need one. Get used to feeling that. And what we want to do, we want to keep the upper body straight and we're just moving that left leg backwards and forwards. And we're noticing that the front of this left shoulder, the left side of the chest, is having to open to be able to take that knee back behind us. Okay, so just noticing, just playing with that. Okay, let's bring that side down. Transfer that energy over. Bring the right knee up. Right hand slides down the shin to the ankle or the top of the foot. And we just get our balance. So we're not rushing. Rushing when we're balancing, we're going to fall over. And we're just going backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. And we're just noticing the two sides different. Sometimes we find it easier to balance on one side than we do the other. Are we taking ourselves too seriously? Are we frowning or tensioning our jaw? We're concentrating, but that doesn't mean we have to be tense, and that concentration want to hold it soft. Okay, bring that down. And again, this time we might notice that, oh, hang on a minute, I might feel that round in my lower back. And this is recognizing that Natarajasana is a back bend. Okay, so if we can imagine, and you have to imagine because I can't do it, that I'm going to put my foot on the back of my head. My whole spine has got to arch to be able to do that. Okay, so when we are in the process of working with Natarajasana, we're aware that some of the reason we might not be able to get there is that we actually can't make that shape with our back. Okay, so just to help you feel, oh, okay, so the variation that we're using is just simplifying it. So once again, energy over to that right side. Left knee comes up. We slide our hand down to our foot. And when we work our knee back this time, we're going back as far as we can take that knee while keeping our upper body upright. We're not coming forward. So the tendency is to tip, right? That's starting to head into the bound warrior, whereas this is Natarajasana. We want to open that left shoulder up. So we're not pulling the foot in, we're letting that foot go back and up behind us. And then we're going to take our right arm up. If we've still got our balance, we might have our wall. We're going to breathe. And you feel that hip flexor, the top of that left thigh, really getting a stretch. Okay, ease that down. Bring the energy over to the left. And again, we're starting to feel that lower back, right? If you me, going, oh, there's quite a bit going on. So I'm conscious of that on this left side. We bring that right knee up. We're a little bit gentle, we're a little bit careful. As we find that balance, we start to work that knee back. We open up that right side and that right shoulder. And we're lifting up, so we're not coming forward. We're lifting up towards the roof, and that's why this arm, left arm, is going to guide us upwards. We're going to find our breath. And then we're just releasing, we're coming down slow. We're going to take our feet to either side of the mat. And we're going to recognise that because of what we've just done with that arch, we want to come forward and let our back release. So bend into the knees. Slowly start to roll the pelvis around those hips.
Walking your hands down to wherever they reach. Let the head drop. We can lift our hips and straighten-ish those legs, or we can leave them a little bit bent. Our heels come in, our toes turn out, we're going to come down into a squat.
Your version, again looking after knees and hips and ankles, and then down to the floor. And just crossing our legs for a moment, 20-minute crew, 20-ish minute crew. This is that moment where we go, you know, it's a good time to kind of take a break. To maybe bring yourself into some meditation practice or some breath work or Shavasana. So just kind of allow yourself that. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths that just bring us into that centre. We're a little bit soft, we're a little bit kind of like, ooh, there's been some work go on in the body. Stay with that. We're going to take ourselves down to the floor cruise, so lying down.
No, it's not beginning class, just in case
You're like, what is she doing?
So we're going to come around and down. And we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest and draw them in and just rock a little bit across that lower back. And then we're going to take our arms, I'm going to reach them over our heads. We're going to reach our feet up towards the roof. Nice deep breath there. Stretch it out through your toes, through your heels. And soles of the feet together. Knees drop out to the side. Come down into Supta Baddha Konasana. And bring our arms up and over and onto our belly. Noticing the breath. We're going going to spread our wings out nice and wide. We're going to bring our knees together. And we're going to lift our hips up and over to the left side of the mat and take our knees to the right. And then this left hand, we're going to inhale it up. And we're going to exhale over to touch our right palm. And then we're going to inhale up. And exhale over, and again you're looking for a fluid movement rather than an up. As fast as you can and over as fast as you can. You're not stopping that movement. We're following our thumb with our eyes. Inhaling up, exhaling, open, inhaling out, exhaling to touch that right palm. Just go slow. The next time you open out into that twist, just hang out there for a few breaths, looking along that left arm. And then our knees come up and our hips come back to center. And we pause. And we're going to lift our hips to the right and take our knees left. And then that right hand, we're going to follow that thumb. Inhale up. Exhale. Touch that left hand. Slowly inhale up and exhale open, and we're rolling our head at the same time and just keeping that movement nice and long, nice and slow. The next time we open up, just kind of pausing, sinking into the breath. And then we're bringing those knees back up, bringing the hips back to center, soles the feet together. Knees drop out to the side, hands to the belly. And pause for a moment there. So Crew, this is the first week that we have done the 2 offerings. So for those of you that are used to doing a longer practice, you can run the 2 together. For for those of you that are kind of like, oh, it'd be quite nice to have two different practices, this is what the offering is now going to be. For a wee while anyway, we're just playing with what works for everybody, or what works for as many people as we can make things work for us. So this here is a chance just to pause and reflect, to soften, to maybe go on to the meditation, or to maybe kind of go on to the rest of the day, but give yourself at least kind of 8 breaths before you decide and do anything. And that counting slowly to 8 gives the mind something to do. It lets us soften. Each exhale just sinking that little bit closer to the floor. Each inhale filling us up with that fresh life force, that fresh prana. And then if you need to get on with whatever the rest of the day has, bring your knees together. If you could stay longer, push that pause button and stay there. We'll jump into SoundCloud for the meditation. We're going to reach our arms up and over our head. We're going to come around to seated. You might also like to meditate seated.
And we're sitting into that space that we've created, and we're once again back to, what does it feel like? That gratitude for the beautifulness of your space, or for something beautiful within it. And that is you. But just notice for a moment, just be in that space, be in the breath. Move a little bit into the spine, feel the work that you've done. And we're going to inhale out. Gather some of that beautiful energy in, bring it to the heart space. And if you're blending them together, you're going to find us starting here in a moment, or many blessings for the rest of your day.